Good morning, everybody, and thank you for joining us on today's webinar. This morning, we're going to be looking at some of the key applications that plug into Microsoft Teams. Presenting on the webinar will be Sajid Rafiq, our Cloud Solutions Specialist here at Bytes, and we'll also have Bruce Knight, who also works on the same team as CSS here at Bytes. They'll be running through the content in more detail for you. Before I hand over to the guys, I'm just going to give you some very quick housekeeping. During the webinar, you will be muted, but there is a questions box on the right-hand side of the screen. So we do really encourage for you to ask questions. So pop them into the box throughout the webinar as they come to you. And then at the end, we'll have a live Q&A where we can read back the questions and answer anything that you've asked. The webinar recording will be made available at a later date, and there is a critique form that we really do appreciate that you fill in. So the details of that will pop up at the end of the webinar. So if you could fill that in, that would be great. I'm just going to hand you over now. So bear with me and we can kick things off.
Good morning, everyone. It's Sajid Rafiq here. I'm one of the Office 365 specialists here at Bytes, and today we're going to be talking about Teams, but more importantly, some of the third-party applications and some of the applications that plug into Teams. Bruce and I have both done a webinar previously, and we talked about what Teams is. So this isn't a webinar about Teams. We're hoping that you have the fundamentals of that. But if you do want to receive another webinar on Teams, please, on the feedback form at the end, just write a little comment saying you would like us to do another Teams demo. So within Teams, if I click into the, so you know that you can create channels and you know that people will create a team area for you. So let's say your IT manager or your IT team has created a channel, and let's, in this purpose, we've created a Sajid's team, and we've got a general channel. And on the top, we've got a plus sign, and if I click on that plus sign, you're going to see a whole bunch of applications you can plug into Teams. Now, Bruce and I do not have time to go through all those applications, not in 45 minutes. So what we'll do is just going to capture a couple of those applications this time, and then we're going to do a follow-on webinar maybe in another couple of weeks' times or 3 or 4 weeks' times, where we'll cover some of the other applications. And again, if you want to see an application, put it on the feedback form. The more we get back from you, the more we can do. Brilliant. So one of the things that have been asked to me a couple of times is forms. What is forms? How do I use that in Teams, etc., etc. So what I'm going to do is cover 2 applications. One is going to be forms, and one is going to is called streams. I'm going to show you those applications as both as standalones, and then I'm going to show you how to plug that into Teams. Okay. So if I go into my Office 365 environment, you can sort of see one of the applications I have access to is Forms. And if I click onto that, we open up Forms. So what is Forms? Forms is a great way of doing simple surveys or questionnaires to your organizations or to your stakeholders. Okay, so the idea here is that I can create a new survey form. And if you're doing a whole implementation of Office 365, what a great way of actually asking questions in regards to, you know, how is the IT team performing for the organization? What could we do better? What are your expectations from Office 365? So even from change management point of view, Forms is really a great tool to use. So let's say we create a form from scratch. I'm going to create a new survey. And the question is feedback from the webinar. So if we're doing this webinar, let's do a feedback form. It helps if I can type feedback form. Okay. And a brief description, webinar feedback. So very simple, very easy to do. Okay. And then we start asking, oh, actually, there you go. I can't type. We ask a simple question, and it gives me a couple of options: multiple choice, text, ratings, dates, net score, questions, all those sort of things. So I'm going to ask a very simple question, and I'm going to make it multiple choice. Did you enjoy the webinar? What a great way to get feedback. But almost immediately, you sort of see, as I typed, did you enjoy the webinar? Forms made a suggestion. Oh, can some of the answers be yes, no, or maybe? And you say, yeah, actually, I quite like those suggestions. I'm going to put that all in there. Simple as that. Do you want to allow multiple answers? No. One answer for this is great. Is this a required answer? Yeah, and I can sort of say yes or no in there. If I want to snazz the question up, I can put a picture in here. So pictures next to the question just to snazz that up. But I want to add another question quite simply. At the bottom, add new question. It's as simple as that. And the next one, I might ask a little text answer. The question would be, what did you not like about the webinar? So if someone's answered no, then I want them to tell me what they didn't like about the webinar. And I can make it a short reply, or I can make it a long reply. But if they answered yes, I want them to give me feedback on that. So I'll text feedback again. What did you like about the webinar? And again, I can give that a short or long answer there. Now, you may say, actually, Saj, this is really good, but if they've answered yes, I don't really want them to go to the second question. I don't want to give them the option to say, what did you not like about the webinar if you've given them a yes? So what we can do is go up here, click on there, and in the top right-hand corner where there's 3 dots, I can click onto there and I can go to branching. If I click on branching, that says if someone has answered yes to this, then go straight to question 3. Skip question two out. And then we can go back to that. And if not, if they've answered no or maybe, then go straight to question 2. So yes, I can do those sort of branchings. Once I've done this, I can actually also put a theme to this, so I can snazz this up immediately. And if I click on the theme, it gives me some backgrounds. I'm just going to use a generic background there that we've used there. You can sort of see that. If I want to see what it looks like in preview, that's what it would look like in on a PC. That's what it would look like if I sent this to someone on their mobile phone. So again, I can keep the look and feel and say, am I happy with it? And as you notice, even in the previous section, it's only seen the first question because what it's doing is asking me, well, actually, depending on how you answer, I will then show you the second question. So in this question, if I say yes, I'm going to say, what did you like about the webinar? That's now become my second question. And if I'd gone back and said no, you'll see, what did you not like about the webinar? And you can see my spelling mistakes in there as well. So it shows you it's all live. Okay, and that's great. So I've created the form, and it's a great way of getting instant feedback. And this is how we're doing the form. At the end of this, we'll be asking you to fill out a feedback form. That's all done using this. So once we've done this, I want to share this with people. I can click on share, and you can sort of see I've got a link that everyone can go to, and it says open, only people in my organization can respond. So even if the link goes to someone externally, not interested, it's only people within my organization. I can send it to anyone actually who has this link. So if I want to send it to people outside the organization, I can do that. Like I said, great. So there's the link, but I can also do it as a QR code. So what a great way, if you're doing a presentation, that the last slide on that presentation is a QR code, and people can just get their mobile phones out and give you instant feedback of how that presentation went. Okay. We can also do links, and we can do the emails in there. So you can sort of see actually sending this information out is very simple to do. If we go into the three dots next to share and we go to settings, what we can do is say, actually, there's a couple of things I want to do. One response per person only, which is a good idea. This is the start date and this is an end date. So I don't want people to be able to come back to this form in 3 weeks' time. I want the answers this week, and after this week, if they go back to the link, it will close down for them immediately. Okay, and I can have notifications. So if it's a small organization, say 10, 15 people, I can say anytime that someone replies to this questionnaire or this survey, send me an email notification immediately that someone's filled something in. And again, if I come out of this, what you'll see here is responses. I can also see who's responded, how quickly they've responded, how long it's taken, and it's giving me some views. And I can take all that information and push that straight into an Excel spreadsheet. It's as simple as that. And once I've got the feedback, it will give me some insights to how things have gone. So if I look at a form and I look at some responses, it's giving me some ideas. And it says, here, large percentage of people answered yes in question 5, and all of them are category as high rating in question 8. So it gives me some insight that says, actually, out of all the people that replied, question 4, 75% of those people said you were excellent, and in question 8, all those that said excellent in question 4 also said excellent in question 5 as well. So it gives me an idea of some powerful business intelligence straight away in there. Now, that's forms standing on its own. When we go into teams, what you can see is I've got my team there, I've got my channel there. I don't want my team to go away and find a survey. I want to do a survey for that team, okay? So what I can do is just click the plus sign there, okay? And then look for forms. And I can create a brand new form from scratch, and you've just seen me do that, okay? Or I can say, well, actually, I've already got an existing form I want to use. And that's the one that we've just created now, feedback form. Click on personal, collect responses or show results, save, and straight away, that form is now embedded straight away. And again, I can sort of say, in this case, I've just shown the response. So everyone in my team can see how we've responded. So if we've done a survey to the entire organization to say, we want feedback on how the IT team or how the marketing team are working for you, okay? This could be a nice way where everyone in the marketing or IT team can look at that and say, oh, actually, we've got positive feedback or we've got some negative feedback. Let's look at what was negative about that and respond to that immediately. Hopefully that all made sense to you. And again, Forms is plugging into other things as well. And in a moment, I will show you some of the other things that Forms is plugging into. The other thing I wanted to show you was Stream, okay? And Streams is, quite simply put, it's a YouTube channel for your organization. I think that's probably the simplest way of saying it. However, it is quite powerful. So when I create a video, okay, or I want to share video with people, and let's be honest with each other here, especially the new generation that's coming into the workforce, no one likes to read anymore. Everyone wants to watch a 10-minute video or a 15-minute video on how to do something and then just get on with it. And again, there is a Stream app for your phones, whether it's iOS or Android. So just waiting for my page to come up. So here we go, there's Streams up there. And what you'll see is that within Streams, I can create channels and groups. So again, I could have a new starter channel. So all the new starters that start my organization could be a member of that channel, and all the videos that they need to see could be put in there. I could do a change management channel or an Office 365 channel, which says that anyone who is wanting to find information on how to use Office 365 can go to this channel called Office 365, and all the videos on how to use Office 365 could be put in here. I've also got my content, so I can see all the videos that I've uploaded or I've been part of. You can see there's quite a few in there. Okay, or I can go to discover videos and see all the videos I have access to and see what's relevant to me. Now, when I look at a video, I'm just going to pick on a video. You'll see as I upload the video, next to the video will be transcripted for you automatically. I don't have to type that in. It's automatically transcripted. So this is fantastic. So if the video's, let's say, 40 minutes or an hour and a half long, I can start typing in words and say, I want to look if someone's mentioned the word Sajid Rafiq or has mentioned my name in this video. Okay, or I want to search for a specific word or a code name or a product and see if they mentioned it in the video, and it will take me straight to that point in the video. Other thing it will do is if I click where it says people, it will show me the timeline of where that face is in that video. So it takes the video and it shows all the people that are in that video, and it shows you where they appear in the video. So for example, if there's a video that's an hour long and my colleague Bruce was in that video and I don't care what anyone else is saying, I just want to listen to what Bruce has got to say, I can go straight to his timeline in there as well. If I go to details, you can see I can do this, add it to a watch list. I can like the video. I can share the video with my colleagues if I wanted to do that. So if I added it to a watch list, I can have that accessed on my mobile phone. So if I'm going into the office and I'm getting public transport, let's say I'm getting a bus into the office, I can spend that time listening to some of the videos that I need to catch up on. Now, interactivity. Remember we did a form, so what we could do is create a video, upload the video into Streams, and what we can sort of say is, actually, when the video gets to this point in time, i.e. 4 seconds into the video, I want to add a form, a questionnaire. Click on that. There we go. And I can paste the URL from that form straight into here. So what the video will do is go 4 minutes into the video, and then the form will appear or the questionnaire will appear. They fill in that, and then the video will continue. What a fantastic way of doing feedback, especially if you've got a sort of training sessions and you've got an hour-long video, and you may want to break that into sort of like 3 20-minute sections, and you can say the first 20 minutes, we would just want to understand what you've gained from this, what insights you've gained from this, and then if you've passed that, you'll go to the next stage. So that can all be done within here. And again, if I go back to Teams, and I click on the plus sign here again, what you can see is I can go to stream there, and I can plug a video directly straight into my Office 365 Teams channel. And I can either do a channel or look for a specific video and just plug that straight into there. See if I can do that here. There we go. There's a meeting embeds. Save that. And there's the video put straight into there. If I go into the conversation piece, you can see that in the conversation piece of Teams, it says that the meeting has been put into there and a video has been put up there, and you can see the tab for that as well. Now, the other thing that you may be aware of, so we did go through this in the other webinar that we did around Teams and how to set up Teams. When you create a video conference within your team, that video is now there for everyone to access. So if we had a team meeting on Teams and we had a video conferencing and I was always sick that day, I can go back straight away into that channel and look at that video immediately. But I can also open up that meeting in Stream. And if I open up that meeting in Stream, you'll see the videos appeared, okay? And it's transcripted the video. It's a very short conversation. We can sort of see that straight, but that's done immediately as well. So again, any conversations or any video conferencing that we've done within the Teams channel is actually shared or saved into Stream, but accessed through the channel. But all that functionality, all that power of Streams is there for you. Okay, so I think that's a quick overview of Forms and a quick overview of Stream. I will come back again and we'll do some Q&As at the end, but I'm going to pass over to my colleague now, who's going to cover, I believe, Planner and maybe To Do. So over to you, Bruce.
Good morning, everybody. Let me just get my screen up and running. There we go. Thank you, Saj. I think really some good sort of tips and tricks there for the users out there to leverage Stream and Forms. I'm going to talk today a little bit about Planner. So I guess same sort of concept that Saj was showing you and taking you to Planner, showing you a little bit about how it works within the Office 365 app. But then pulling that back into Teams and giving you more of a scenario around when you create a team, you have a couple of channels, but in most cases, say for example, you're planning an event, you want to assign tasks to yourself or other individuals, and it'd be great to have a way to track all those things. So you may have started using Planner, but in this session, we'll kind of bring that back into Teams, and I'll show you how we can leverage Planner from inside Teams as well. So to get to Planner, you go to log into Office 365, you'll see the Planner icon, hop in over there, and you'll get a nice dashboard view of some of your favorite plans. So these are plans that you kind of belong to or have created, and you can go and see some of the other plans as well. I can easily star one of these other plans and make it a favorite, and I can get a nice dashboard view to see inside each one of these plans, which tasks have been started, which ones haven't, which ones are late, and which ones are completed. And I can jump into any of these and have a look at what's going on in these plans. So a little bit more detail around what's going on. But I think, for today, we'll kind of focus more on the Teams aspect of this. So I'm going to hop into Teams. You can see I have this launch event channel under my Mark 8 project team. And inside this sort of channel that we've got as part of the Mark 8 project team, we're going to use this channel to discuss the event, create some tasks, assign them to individuals, and just manage the whole sort of process. So there's a couple of things that we need to put together. There's lots of different individuals and people that we need to bring together for this event. And Planner is a great way to organize those tasks and assign them to people so we can just keep track of things and make sure we don't get to the day before the event and we've forgotten something or somebody hasn't done what they said they were going to do. So we can leverage Planner to make sure we stay on top of these activities and tasks. So if you look at Teams, you can either go into the channel and add a plan the same way Saj showed you how to add Stream or Forms into a channel. You can click on add a plan. And you can create a new plan, so you can have multiple different plans under the same channel, or you might want to go in and add an existing plan that you've been working on into that channel. So whichever way you decide to do that, that's fine. I've already got a few plans added in there, so I'm not going to add a new one now. Or you can hop into the Planner app from within Teams as well. So if you click on the three dots on the left-hand side over here, you'll be able to just jump straight into Planner. So I guess the whole purpose of Teams is to keep your focus on your day-to-day activities. So you don't have to jump out of Teams to go and have a look at things like Planner, Stream, or Forms. We can get all those apps shown to us from within inside Teams, so we don't have to jump across different apps. So easy enough to click into Planner. And here I can get a good sort of view on all of my tasks that I have to do. So I can see them sort of grouped in not started, in progress, and completed. but I might want to change this view, and I can click on the group by progress over here and change that to, say, due date. So I just quickly want to get a view on which tasks maybe are late, which tasks I have planned for me today, tomorrow, and this week. I can scroll across here and have a look at, some of the tasks that I have to get done next week and in the future as well. So really quickly, I can see that I've got a couple of late tasks. Maybe I want to action those straight away. So I can see, oh, actually, I've finished the draft presentation. I'm going to tick this one off because it's actually been completed. I just haven't marked it as complete yet. And then I can see that if I now see down at the bottom here that this draft presentation has been completed. Another way I might want to have a look at what's going on here is if, I'm in the Plan app and I do want to jump out, you'll always see there's this little icon in the top right-hand corner. And this kind of applies to most of the apps that you leverage inside Teams. You can always jump out easily to the actual app by clicking on the go to website icon. So I could hop into it from there and maybe drill through into the apps again. So if you ever want to hop out, it's easy to just find that app or that plan that you're working on and jump straight into the web version as well if you want to. Another view I might want to have a look at is group it by plan. So you might belong to a number of different teams or groups, and this view allows you to just sort of see for each one of those channels or teams that I have a plan and I belong to a plan with. I can see that from event plan, I have a couple of tasks that I have here. I might want to add a new task, IT, mark a project plan. So it just groups it nicely for me in buckets across. So I can really quickly see which teams or plans I belong to. So let's bring this back into our launch event channel. We've been having a few conversations around the event. There's a couple of things we need to take care of. So I'm going to jump straight into the event plan from inside this channel. So really quickly from here, I can see, okay, for the event specifically, there's a couple of tasks that I've got under the to-do bucket, and maybe I want to move these across. So I might start a plan over here, or start something over here, like for example, approve budget for event, and I could assign that to a couple of people. It could be a single person, or perhaps I want to assign it to a few individuals. You can also set up notifications so that when a task gets assigned to you, you get an email in your inbox as well. And I can set a due date for this. So let's say we need to have the budget approved by next Friday, and I can add that task, and they'll go into this bucket because that's where I started it. But from there, maybe I want to move this into a different bucket, so I can easily drag it across. So maybe I want to move it into the bucket next to it, or let's move this across into something that might be more relevant. So I've got a managers bucket over here. I can add new buckets. So these are all customizable at the top. Whatever sort of seems more natural in context of the event plan that you're planning. So I want the managers to approve this off, and I've assigned those to the tasks. But maybe I also want to include the actual budget, so I can attach the documents. Here I can choose a link or SharePoint. So I'm going to just browse into one of the SharePoint document libraries. Go into my launch event channel and add the Marcade event budget. So that's easy for whoever needs to jump into this task. They can quickly click on the link and go into the budget and have a look, review it, provide any comments, so they can comment here. I can add a description. Please review budget and make changes if needed. And I can either show this piece on the card, or maybe I want to show the actual Marcade event budget XLS document on the card. So you can customize it to see how it is. I can change this to in progress or completed. So we'll say that's in progress. Priority, I'd say this is an important one. We need the budget approved, and I need the managers to have a look at that pretty urgently. So I'll say that's important. And I also have a list of tabs down the right-hand side. So this is kind of categories or labels. You can change these ones. So this will be for managers, but I could go in and change the text here if I want to make the label something different. So I can have one or multiple labels attached to this task. Just stick them on in over here, and you'll see now that this task has been created. It's been assigned to 2 different people. So if I want to make sure that the notifications are turned on, or I don't want to have notifications, you can always jump into the web version and you can hit the little settings cog over here, and I can have a look at notifications. So here's where, if you're not seeing those email notifications when a new task is assigned to you, you can make sure that you just click on the tick box over here to say someone assigned a task to me. Make sure it gets emailed to you via Teams and mobile push. So if you have the Planner app on your phone, when a new task gets assigned to you, you'll see that little toast notification pop up on your phone, or you'll get an email in your inbox through Outlook. Another nice thing you can do with tasks is you can add little lists here. So for example, the submit your expenses. I might assign it to a couple of different people, and once they've submitted the expenses, they can click into the checklist and say, well, Dal looked at this task, she's submitted her expenses, and I'll tick her off to the block. Or she may do that, jump into the task, and she can tick it off herself. So you can add a checklist to your card, and you might want to show that as part of the task as well. So there I can see now she's ticked those off. And once again, I can drag these across to somewhere else. So really easy to move things around and make sure that you're keeping everything in one place. So really, the nice part is we can see that we've got a couple of tasks still to go. I like to just change this again to progress. So we want to see how far across we've got some of these things. So there's a couple that have not been started. I can see a few in progress, and I know we need to quickly catch up on the review main deck one, so I can jump in over there. I can see the presentation that's in there, and I can go into that presentation. I can make changes to the slides. I might say to some of the other team members to please update their slides to this task. They can quickly jump in the link. They don't need to know where that file is stored because I've linked it into that task, and they can jump into the PowerPoint presentation, add a few of their slides, open it in the rich application if they want to, so they can open in the desktop app, make a few changes, save it back. It all gets saved back into SharePoint where we have version control. So we're all working on that same PowerPoint presentation. It's linked to our task so we can track and see when we've finished and we've finished working on that launch event presentation. So we all can stay on top of those tasks that we need to get done. Of course, all of this is still available through the Teams app and inside the Planner app on your mobile phone. So it all depends on how you like to work. If you're a mobile worker, you get access to all these apps via your iOS or Android device as well. And another nice thing you can do is, I don't know if anyone is using the To-Do app. So To-Do has been around for a while. It's kind of that the successor to something that was called Wunderlist. So Wunderlist was bought out by Microsoft many years ago. It's kind of evolved over the years and it's been rebranded now to Microsoft To-Do. To-Do links in nicely to Office 365. It links to your email. So you can see down the left-hand side here, I can see any flagged emails pop up into my To-Do. If I go into Assign to Me, these are actually all of the tasks that have been assigned to me via Planner. So if I look at these tasks, I can see this was from the Event Plan Planner. This one's from Product Launch Events, and this one's from the Mark A Project Plan. So I get a quick view on everything that's been assigned to me through my To-Do app. And the nice thing is if I open up To-Do, I can have a look at my personal tasks that maybe I've created, my flagged email tasks. Maybe I want to go into my day and have a look at some of the tasks that I've assigned to myself to do today. I can really easily add. So review main deck, maybe I want to add this to my day, so I can click to add to my day. I can even pop it out into Planner from To-Do, so I can say, maybe I want to update the notes, but I can also open it in Planner, and it'll actually open that task directly within the web app. So I don't have to go and find that task. I can just go to it from To-Do, and it'll jump into the event planner plan in Office 365. So a really nice way to manage all your tasks. If you like to use a To-Do app, or if you haven't seen it, it's available to you from within Office 365 as well. So if I go back to my home page and I just click on all apps, you'll see To-Do over there. There's apps available for Windows 10, so this nice app that you can download to the store, or you can download it onto your mobile phones, and you can link it up. So easy way to link your planner task into to-do. If you click on your profile over here and you go to settings, just make sure you scroll down and look at connections and slide this to on. That'll then bring all your planner tasks into your to-do app. So if I go back to my day now, I'll see this one that I've added to my day. So I want to, get started with that. Maybe update the comments in here. Nearly completed. If I mark it as completed or I change the due date, that also syncs into Planner and makes the changes in there as well. So if I have it due Wednesday, the 30th of October, maybe I want to make it for next week Wednesday, so change the date to the 14th of October. That'll then sync back into Planner and update it over there. So it depends on where you would like to work. You might want to do it all through To Do. You might want to go into Planner, or you can manage all your tasks through the Teams channel or the plan within the team. So all depends on you and how you like to work. And that about wraps up the planner piece to this webinar. So I hope I've shown you a couple of things that you may not have seen before, and I'll hand it back over to the team where we'll take a few questions and answers.
Thanks, Bruce. Okay, so we will just, I'm just going to steal the screen back from you. So we had a few questions. We had a few around forms, we had a couple on stream, and we did have a couple on planner. So I'm just going to read some of them out, and if you guys can respond the best you can. So regarding forms first, Saj, so someone asked, do all stakeholders need to have Teams/forms to use this? To use forms?
No. Okay, so you can send it to external stakeholders. All they need to do is have the ability to have a browser, open that up, and fill in the form. So no, not everyone has to have forms to be able to fill in a form, but they do need forms to create a form, shall we sort of say? Okay.
Yeah, perfect. When you were showing the short and the long answers on the forms, do you know if there's a character restrictions or if it can be open-ended?
No, it's not open-ended. There is a character restrictions. That's why you've got the short and long things. You're going to want to know what those restrictions are. The short is just a one line. Long is just 2 lines at the moment. If you write that on the feedback form, I will send you a personal email giving you the exact number of characters on each line. Okay. Apologies for not knowing that off the top of my head.
Thank you. So yeah, Bruce, there was a couple on planner. When using planner, can specific cards have restricted access if you only want certain members of the team to be able to review the budget, for example?
So unfortunately, if it's part of the same plan, everybody within, so say for example, this event plan where I had a bucket for managers, whoever's a member of this plan, so if I just hop out into the web view, you'll be able to see who are members of that plan, and when you create a new plan, you add members to that plan, and unfortunately everybody who has access to that will be able to see all the buckets and all the tasks. They wouldn't be able to update it if they're not assigned that task, but they would still be able to see the actual card within that bucket. I'm not sure if that's something that might be on the roadmap or coming soon, to restrict the card to only specific individuals within a plan. Saj, do you know that's coming on the roadmap?
I haven't seen it on the roadmap, but I'll be honest with you, I haven't gone out looking for that on the roadmap. Again, if you put that on the feedback form, what we'll do is we'll actually investigate that in there. What Microsoft is doing is allowing you to stop people going from one channel to the other channel. Okay, so if they're stopping you doing that, they may be sort of saying, actually, if you put the plan in a certain channel, say channel A, okay, and then put another plan for channel B, they shouldn't be able to see each other's cards. That might be a way of getting around it.
Cool. Is it possible to export a task into another tab or channel?
Yes, so you can copy a task and move it into a different plan. So one of the cards that you have created in a specific plan, I can copy that task to a different plan. So yeah, you can. There's the 3 little dots on the card. If you click on that, you can then say copy task, and then you can switch it to a different plan that you belong to, and it'll show up in that other plan. So you can do that, yes.
Great.
And I've seen that's done. I was at an organization where a team manager wanted the monthly reports being done, and he'd created a planner task for that. And what he'd done is copied it every single month. So every single month they had to fill in the planner cards and say, yes, I've done my task for this month, or forms.
On the topic of forms again, can you do anonymous surveys? Do you know?
Yes. So anything internal, okay, you will get the people's email address, okay? Anything external will always be anonymous. You won't be able to, so question 1 will always be, what's your name? Question 2, maybe what's your email address? So if you wanted feedback for external use. Internals will always have the names and everything, but you have to go into settings and say, I want anonymous. You have to set that by default. You'll always get people's names or email addresses internally.
Okay. And regarding streams, can you protect a stream to stop someone else deleting it from a channel?
So you can do that, and of course what you can do is you will be the owner of the stream. So if you've put the video up there, okay, you're the owner of that video. Sorry, not stream. You're the owner of that video, so no one else can delete that. You can say who has the rights to do whatever. And when you create a channel, what you can sort of say is these users are members of this channel. They can't do anything. All they can do is consume. Does that all make sense? Brilliant.
Which of the apps mentioned are included in Office 365 Suite and which, if any, you could purchase it?
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, so Planner.
Did you hear that, Bruce?
Yeah, I got that.
Maybe it was just me. Yeah. So yeah, do you want to answer it?
Yeah. So I think just to review the question quickly, there was a question around which one of these apps are available with inside the suite and which may need to be purchased separately.
I'm just checking the connection.
Yeah. So
okay, yeah. Sorry guys, might have had a little blip there. I think we just phoned out. So if anyone didn't hear the question, I'll just quickly say that again. So which of the apps mentioned are included in Office 365 Suite and which, if any, need to be purchased separately?
Okay, so all the apps that we mentioned are in the E3 suite and the E5 suite, and actually are in the E1 suite as well. Okay, and in fact, they're also in the F1 suite, but only as a consumer or as a user, not as an owner. Is that correct, Bruce?
Yeah, and I think there are Forms Pros now available as well, which would be a paid for SKU. So there's the versions you get with the suites, and then there's a Forms Pro, which would give you additional integration into things like Dynamics 365 and a couple of other features around analytics and reporting for those forms as well.
And that's a very good answer there, Bruce. And that leads us on, it's slightly on a tangent here, and sorry to take everyone. If you've got an Office 365 tenant, please go into the admin center, okay, and switch off the ability for people to create trials. So the last thing you want to do is have forms, but people within your own organization creating a 30-day trial on Forms Pro. You want to be able to organize that and control that yourself. So yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Bruce.
Perfect. Yep. And if anyone else has any more questions, you can pop them in the questions box. If you have anything that you may think of later on, you can email tellmemore@bytes.co.uk, or of course reach out to your Bytes account manager, who will be more than happy to help. There is a link there and a QR code that you can scan using your phone to fill in the feedback form. We really do appreciate everything that you provide to us. So you know, if you guys just have like a minute, there's only just like a couple of questions to fill that out, we would really appreciate it. And it helps us with our future webinars, knowing, you know, what you want to hear about, what you enjoy, what you need to know more about. Yeah, so if you do have any other questions, then pop them into the questions box. We'll be running a few more webinars over the next few weeks, so keep a lookout for those. And we do also have our workshops as well. The next one available to register for actually will be on the 30th of October, and that is in London. If you want to register for that, the web page to register is on the Bytes website under the events section. And again, the guys will go through a little bit of Microsoft Teams, but also the wider sort of Microsoft 365, Office 365 suite, along with other sort of communication and collaboration tools. So it'd be great to see you guys there if you would like to join us. Again, if you want to fill out the feedback form, and then we can send you the recording from today so you can share it with your colleagues. That would be much appreciated. So thank you everybody for joining us, and thank you Bruce and Saj for today. Yeah, and I hope you all have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.